कुमार स्वामी नायक है गोंगो लिबू लटोका रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन.
Good evening, Fiji. In this bulletin, Bainimarama warns against opposition lies. Diwali, a time of unity. And last-minute shoppers flock to town.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spade.
Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama has urged Fijians to beware of lies being spread by opposition members on social media. Speaking during the Radio Fiji 1's Nanonda Prime Minister program, Bainimarama said lies about the Itauke losing their land is a political agenda, which only draws Fiji back. Sanyani Boiler reports the Prime Minister has again stressed that all Itauke land is safe.
Bainimarama says issues being raised by Sudalpa about Itauke land ownership and the Ngolingoli bill are all lies.
All this is coming from the opposition and in an effort to politicize the move by the government. The recent talk about the Ngolingoli bill, which has shook our country for a while, is a prime example. This is another move from Sudalpa. They are indirectly asking for your votes.
The Prime Minister has stood by the decision to abolish the proposed Ngolingoli bill, which was being touted by the then Songosongo Dorwatani Leoni Benua, or SDL, in 2006.
The Ngolingoli bill made two men fought over Ngolingoli using a knife. This is even before the bill was passed. So imagine if we enact the bill. The enactment of the bill will affect the tourism sector as the landowners will decide on what to be done to the Ngolingoli. This was the initial decision made by the first government to leave the Ngolingoli to the government. Let it be that way.
Bainimarama also rubbished Facebook comments by opposition MP Niko Nawaikula that Itauke land is not safe with the Fiji First government.
The opposition, especially Niko Nawaikula, who says that the government does not care about the Itauke. He says that the government does not follow the procedures in place in ensuring the safety of Itauke land. Nico should make time to go down to the Ministry of Itauke and see the extensive work by the ministry in recording the Iwalani Kaumbula, the mapping of village boundaries and the registration of Ngolingoli and other programs for the safety of Itauke.
Government is working to ensure that Fiji remains a multiracial nation which will always leave no one behind. Sanyani Boila, FBC News.
Fiji has been a shining light for humanity in a year that has been defined by deadly darkness, the COVID-19 pandemic, says Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama. Extending his warmest wishes to all Fijians this Diwali, Bainimarama has called on everyone to strengthen bonds and reaffirm commitment to family, friendship, goodwill and a brighter future for the country. Kelly Vadala reports.
According to the Prime Minister, Fiji's science-based approach to containing COVID-19 is a triumph of knowledge once again.
Our people are safe, and they are safe because Fijians summon the light within them to sacrifice and to live in solidarity with their fellow Fijians, to cooperate for the common good. It has been a noble undertaking for this nation, and we should be proud. We truly looked out for each other. And that is the ultimate expression of light and goodness.
The Fijian Constitution guarantees every Fijian the right to practice their faith free from discrimination.
Celebrations like Diwali have become national celebrations, where families openly share their festivities with their friends and neighbors, enriching our national character with the universal values and age-old wisdom found in every faith.
The PM says through our embrace of religious freedom, many faiths of people have become a source of harmony among Fijians.
All those who seek to share in Diwali celebrations should do so. Light candles, illuminate your houses, enjoy the fireworks, join in the feast of your friends and neighbors as they celebrate, and show the world yet again that we are a people of light and learning and goodness.
The head of government is reminding all Fijians to give thanks as one nation and one people for the many blessings bestowed upon us. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
The sale of fireworks this year has been subdued for some traders. General Manager for Mahesh Syndicate, Vinay Kumar, says they had expected this and brought in a limited stock. Kritika Kumar reports COVID-19 also meant that retailers were not able to plan properly.
Vinay Kumar says the subdued sale was expected as Fijians are still facing the impacts of the pandemic.
There is a very limited amount of range and I think a limited amount of stock this year. And that was expected because nobody back then, 6 months or 9 months ago, or even 3 months ago, no, what's going to happen today? So we are lucky that we're still able to blow the crackers and we've got the permission to do that.
The general manager says they still have fireworks available, but not as much as in previous years. Kumar adds Fijians are lucky to be able to celebrate Diwali with their loved ones.
We couldn't plan much ahead. We need to plan 9 months to 12 months ahead. And when we do order fireworks, that was just when the pandemic started. So nobody knew where we're going to be today. But we are very fortunate to be a COVID-contained country to be able to celebrate Diwali with fireworks.
The Mineral Resources Department have seen a decrease in the number of importers of fireworks this year. Raymond Mohammed also highlighted that there are strict guidelines which needs to be followed.
So the monitoring process is very, very thorough for us. It's a very intensive process. And we also have in place fireworks import restriction guidelines that all fireworks importers need to adhere to when they're importing fireworks.
The lighting of fireworks will only be allowed between 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. tomorrow, with an extra 2 hours on Monday, which is the designated public holiday. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
More than 290 traders have been inspected by the Fijian Commerce and Consumer Commission as part of Diwali operations. FCCC Chief Executive Joel Abraham says they are happy with the level of compliance by most retailers. However, there have been incidents where prices listed on shelves were not entered into the system. FCCC teams will continue to monitor businesses during last-minute shopping.
In these times where people are buying trolley loads of things, going to the counter, people generally don't check. And as such, onus is on the FCCC and Fijian businesses to make sure that the systems are correct. And we are holding true to the duty that has been bestowed to us, and our teams are out on the ground.
Up ahead, water cuts in parts of Suva and Nasinu. And UN provides support for returning peacekeepers.
मैं तो दिल्ली में रहता हूँ और रेडियो फीजी रोज सुनता हूँ।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
Sweetmaker Bikabai and Company says it's surprised with the increasing number of orders this year despite the pandemic. Chief Executive Viraj Kantilal says orders were flowing in and they've had to ramp up production to keep up with the demand. Sainiani Boiler reports.
Ordered, packed, ready to be picked up. Most of these purchases were made online.
And this year, I would say we did exceptionally well in terms of being able to fulfill our customers' orders. There were some disappointed customers because we managed to run out of some sweets. So every year is growth for us.
Raj says they will be making sweets in the night to cater for the orders in the next 2 days.
The other area that we've been focusing on is our online business, which has really taken over very well. So we've had a lot of customers from overseas who have ordered through our website, and we've shipped it to them, and we've sent it to Australia, New Zealand.
Another sweet outlet, Hare Krishna Veggieway, is also preparing for a busy night ahead. Sweets are a must for most celebrating Diwali.
For me, the best thing about Diwali is sweets, because I can share with my friends. It's kind of sharing love.
I always look forward to Diwali because I love sweets, and a lot of people come at my place.
We can pass it out. As we know, Diwali is the festival of lights. We also share stuff. So probably from enemies we become friends.
Most continue to celebrate Diwali with friends and loved ones after a tough year overshadowed by the effects of the pandemic. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
Many Fijians flock to towns and cities for last-minute Diwali shopping. In Suva, hundreds of people of different ethnicities visited shops to purchase clothes and fireworks. FBC News caught up with two sisters from the United States who were fully decked out. Kritika Kumar reports.
Originally from the United States, Heather and Erica Walden had never experienced Diwali celebrations before.
Everyone seems very accepting of the different religions and cultures here, so that's very interesting because actually in the US, I never actually celebrated Diwali, so no one would, so it's been very, very exciting.
Just like any other festival, the Walden sisters this year decided to do something different for Diwali. They even dressed up in the traditional Indian attire to get into the spirit of Diwali.
We actually did a lot of preparation beforehand, so we were making our blouses and we were getting ready, so it's been lots of fun.
It's been okay, actually. It's not been as crowded as I thought it was, and everyone's very friendly, and it's been nice, yeah.
The two sisters are adapting to the multicultural society, embracing Diwali celebrations. The US citizens believe Diwali is about togetherness and hope, regardless of race, religion or ethnicity. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
The Water Authority of Fiji says it's working around the clock to normalise water supply to elevated parts of Suva and Nasinu. Water Authority says it experienced a series of unplanned electricity outages at its Wainimbuku pump station, and the standby generator failed to kick in. An investigation has commenced into why this critical asset failed when it was most needed. Areas impacted include Tovata, Nangatungatu, Tadirua, Dokanisuva and Doloisuva, where customers will receive low pressure and or no water. The United Nations will be working with the peacekeeping stakeholders in the country to provide the necessary psychosocial support for returning soldiers. The UN resident coordinator highlighted that this will ensure returning peacekeepers who may have had a traumatic experience during deployment have access to help. Koroi Tandalala reports.
The first female peacekeeping commander says exposure to extreme conflicts and threat can affect peacekeepers' mental health.
The exposure to the threats, the conflicts, and we have seen this with women, and the ability to process what they've gone through. And I'm glad that I'm hearing this morning that we will be afforded this opportunity in the military, I think, and for the police as well.
UN resident coordinator Sanaka Samarasina says while peacekeepers are vital in maintaining global peace, they need to be accorded the right support.
What I feel is, in terms of our collective support, we need to think about the psychosocial support that we provide returning peacekeepers. Many of them very proud to have served, but some of them have told me some horrendous stories, and I have no doubt has left a deep impact on them and their families. And anything we can do together as an international community that is in Suva to support returning peacekeepers.
The military have also welcomed the new initiative.
Capacity development that is, we have welcomed in the military, that they're going to look into the support that is given to our peacekeepers when they return from peacekeeping duties. It is exactly one of the challenges that we face. The returnees.
Fijian peacekeepers has been commended globally as an important stakeholder to ensuring peace in some of the world's most conflicted countries. Koroi Tandulala, FBC News.
Turning overseas, US President Donald Trump has spoken publicly for the first time since his election defeat to Joe Biden. Instead, he hailed his administration's response to the coronavirus. Coming up in sports, Lautoka crown new women's skipper champions. And 4 new cases of COVID-19 in flying Fijian squad.
Pula nadang ko aprosa ng karse, go erkraki, do televizyon na parang na Radio Fiji 1, nandong ibit.
Radio Fiji 1, nandong ibit.
Lautoka has been crowned the new Skipper Cup Women's Champions after defeating Naitasiri 10-7 in the final at ANZ Stadium today. Lautoka brought in a good defensive play to score 2 tries from Sesenie Lindonu and Taraivini Andiramba. A last-minute try from Naitasiri's Lavinia Tinai was not enough to get the Highlanders back in the game. Here are the tries.
Which way will it go? So Lautoka taking it up is Taraivini Andiramba. Lautoka. The pass is good. Chance here for Lautoka. Sesenie Lindonu inside centre. In for the try. Lautoka. Rugby Union, 14 rounds of women's competition for the first year. And Lautoka. They get the try in the corner. Taraivini Andiramba. In the same corner is Sesenie Lindonu. 35th minute, second half. 10-0. Stop short again, Mereula Toroti. Opportunity here for Lavinia Tinai. She's over. And she's got the try for Naitasiri. 10-5. And the kick from in front, 10-7.
And in the under-19 final this afternoon, Nandronga beat Namosi 14 points to 13. 4 new cases of COVID-19 have been confirmed among the Flying Fijians overnight. The Fiji Rugby Union clarified that as per COVID-19 protocols, tests conducted in preparation for the match against France have returned 4 new positive results. FRU Chief Executive John O'Connor says this is why the Autumn Nations Cup match against France on Monday was called off.
We're a bit disappointed that it was cancelled, but the results of the COVID test on Thursday night when it came back yesterday, there were 4 new positive cases. And because we have been training in a bubble, there's a risk that others could have been infected.
New Wallabies recruit and former Mbati winger Suliasi Vunivalu will tackle things as they come. Being parachuted into the Wallabies training camp will not give him and the coaching staff a reason to give him game time just yet. It's been 10 years since Bar won the Vodafone Fiji Fact. The side last tasted glory in the 2010, beating Navua 1-0 in the final in Lautoka. Now under the guidance of a veteran coach, the Men in Black plan to finish the year on a high. Aquila Dama again with this story.
Most of these players have not won the Fiji Fact with Mba, but after this week's training commitments, the new man in charge is beaming with confidence.
We have got a good turnout. The boys are really training, coming in numbers, for the training sessions that we have. We are looking at a number of areas in training, especially we are concentrating on ball work, set plays.
Mba has won the Fiji Fact title 7 times, which is the most of any team, and it plans to fill the empty cabinet with a title again before the year ends.
Last tournament, so we're trying to win this tournament, and we're trying to do our best, and the players, they're also giving their best in training. We're facing a few injuries in the goalkeeper department, but we have other players that are stepping up into that position, so we're hoping to do well in there.
Mba meets Nasinu at 1:30 p.m. next Saturday in its first pool match at Lautoka's Churchill Park. Aquila Dama, FBC Sports.
The path to success is never easy, but Pacific Games medalist Cheyenne Rova knows there is light at the end of the tunnel. The 25-year-old is an Olympic hopeful for Team Fiji and is one of the 8 vying for a spot. Rova says the closure of borders has made it very hard for the swimmers to compete at the FINA-sanctioned meets. However, she says personal training time is all she can rely on right now to improve her timings.
So I train in Nandi, and that's a 25-meter pool, and so not being able to get access to a 50 as much as we'd like to because we race in the 50 is something that I hope to get more experience in. I work too, I work also, so trying to balance work and training hasn't been terribly hard.
The Super Volleyball Association is anticipating the number of men's teams to increase during its ongoing weekly Digicel Club League competition. The tournament, which is held over the next 21 weeks, will see teams from around the Suva area competing for the top title. After concluding its second round of competition today, the association has recorded 2 new women's teams. SVA Interim President Kemueli Naingama says the interest in the sport is growing.
Our expectation is that the men's team will reach as far as about 30 teams, because there's still interest on teams coming in. Currently we have this team playing at the court now, Navaka, that is Matabu Valley team. That's a new team altogether. We just joined in after the knockout. So the interest for men are still out there.
And in weather, cloudy periods with brief showers and isolated afternoon or evening thunderstorms prevailed over the group. A quick look at the weather map in the west. Fine apart from cloudy conditions in the afternoon. Eastwards from Pacific Harbour to Suva, a mostly wet day with showers experienced for most of the day. And up north, more cloudy conditions with afternoon showers in Lambasa and Savusavu. At sea, east to southeasterly winds 10 to 20 knots, moderate to rough seas. Turning to the tides, the next high tide is at 6:53 tomorrow morning with low tide at 12:36 p.m. Sunrise is at 5:22 tomorrow. Now, for tomorrow, cloudy conditions giving way to afternoon showers over some places. And our further outlook, we're looking onto Monday. Expect cloudy periods with brief showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands. Elsewhere, fine apart from isolated afternoon or evening showers and thunderstorms. And recapping the main stories for tonight, Prime Minister warns Fijians to beware of opposition's lies. Diwali, a time for unity, and last-minute shoppers rush to towns and cities. Now for these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. Our poll question we're asking: have you already prepared your Diwali decorations? Visit our FBC website to answer. And you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj. Share it with us via Facebook page FBC News and our Twitter page at FBC_news, or simply hashtag FBC News. That's your news for tonight. Until tomorrow, from the team and I, have a safe and enjoyable Diwali. Bye for now.
Bula FM number 2 NSR.
Bula FM number 2 NSR.